Okay, right, there's a few things that I want to discuss here. And this video, if you regularly watch my videos, if you regularly comment on them, then this video is more aimed at you than if you've just subscribed. Or if you just subscribe, go watch something else somebody else has done, or something else that I've done. What I want to talk about is the comments that are left on my video. Some thanks for several different groups of people. So I left by and large in November for a couple of reasons. One was some changes that YouTube had made, and the other was that I just couldn't justify the amount of time involved, really. I had to do more productive things with my time. So I got out the loop, and then it's sometimes quite difficult to get back in. I'm hoping that that won't be the case, that I'm back now and I'm back for good, as Take That would say. So that's where we're at. But one positive change that's taken place, the changes that YouTube made, is this getting rid of the 500 character limit. And with that in mind, I really got to thank you all that have got involved in comments, just for the amount of comments that have been left, the quality of comments that have been left. There have been some comments that are like 50 or 60 lines long, and I know how long it takes to write a bespoke comment out of that length. And that's really quite humbling that people would do that and take part to that degree in the comment sections of my video. And that's specifically important to me because from the start of my YouTube adventure, when I first started making videos, first started getting a few subscribers and a few comments, the comment section has been one of the things that I've really got a kick out of. I like to post on other people's comment sections, and I love to see comments come in, and I love to have debate and to see people having debates that I'm not even involved in on there. There's nothing better than looking at an old video from maybe 3 years back, and there's two people who've just started fucking thrashing something out on there. That's really, it really gives me a kick, that. And some of the comments recently, and just the level of comments, and some of the intellectual level of some of the comments has been really, for all those naysayers who say that YouTube is like the worst of the worst places, you know, on the internet for comments. What a load of shit. What an absolute load of shit. That is just not true. It might be true in some sections of YouTube, but it hasn't been true. It hasn't been my experience on my channel since I've been back. I really want to thank people for that more than anything else in this video. I really want to thank people for that, and I hope that continues. And with regard to comments, perhaps I should just talk about comment policy or guidelines, which is first that I don't actually have one, obviously. I'm not that well organised, as you'll well know by now. But I'm assuming we're all singing from the same hymn sheet here, and I'm assuming, let's assume that 99% of people I'm talking to now largely agree with me on the issues that I discuss, because that's just the way the internet works. People gravitate largely towards channels or blogs or forums where the general opinion agrees with their opinion. There's that kind of affirmation bias there. We all know that that happens, but I would hope that most people agree with me, which is that when somebody else comes along, and this has always been kind of the ethos of how I've felt about my comments section, which is when somebody comes along who fundamentally disagrees, that they are a high value contributor. Okay, that isn't somebody this isn't like fucking Feringula. We don't just want to try and scare them away so that we can all just start agreeing with one another as loudly and vociferously as we can. That we value that person because they have a different of opinion, and because it's grounds to have the kinds of debates and discussion that we want. But they are rare people. And that's why I would say that if I have any kind of, the very rare occasions where you'd see me moderate or intervene, don't take it personally if it looks like I'm being biased towards the person who is the out group. I am being biased towards them because they are the out group. And that's for two reasons. One, I know is that numerically they're going to be outnumbered. And two, because I value the arguments of the in-group. After all, they are the arguments that I think are the strongest arguments because of the arguments that I'm making. I assume that the in-group has sufficient ammunition to fucking look after itself, that it doesn't need me holding its hand. Whereas somebody from the out-group is numerically disadvantaged, and as far as I'm concerned has the weaker arguments to begin with. And so if anybody might need just, let's just tone it down a bit here on their behalf, that's the person that it's going to be. Look, this is how I view things, right? Because I don't try and tone police. I don't tell people, don't use that language, don't do this unless I really have to. If somebody comes along with a really contentious opinion, okay, if they raise the tone, if they get aggressive, if they get personal, then you have every right to do the same thing back. No problem there, but let them be the one that does that. There are a couple of occasions in the past month and a half where I have raised the tone, and I regret doing that. Looking back, I think I could have done that a bit differently. Okay, that's all I ask. That's all I ask, and it's just a plead. Okay, that if we want to make the comment section as good as we can, and this probably goes to other YouTubers that you post comments on, the best thing that you can do is not to raise the stakes with regard to that. Let the other person do that first. If they do it, well then it's free game, isn't it? But until they do that, let's try and keep it on the issues. Okay, so that's kind of the general stuff dealt with. I also want to talk about Patreon, which I've been running for about a month now. First off and primarily is to thank the people. A huge thanks to the 20 people that have pledged towards my channel and towards my output on a per video basis, which is how I've chosen to do it, so that if there's a month when I don't make any videos, which could happen just after Christmas when I've got this little baby born, that you won't end up contributing for something which never actually materializes. One of the benefits that I'm going to see from this first month of pledges is something that I've toyed with in the past, but now I can justify because I'll just pay for it out of the Patreon money, is a green screen. And before any fucker starts groaning, right, I'm not going to use it as a matter of course with fucking planets swirling or majestic wildebeest sweeping across the plain. But I think there are specific occasions, response videos, where rather than interjecting the footage of me waffling on with footage of whatever I'm responding to, that can actually be on the backdrop, and I can just move to one side and you'll see the next bit, and then that'll pause and I'll come in, which I think is a much better way of doing it. Or if there's graphs and charts or any information that needs to be presented, then again that might be a video that takes part with a green screen with a neutral backdrop most of the time, but then the information will just appear on the backdrop. So that's something that some of the money that's been pledged is going to go towards this month. Another tangible benefit, and this is, I mean to say this is thanks to the people that have pledged, is a video that I made the other day on Richard Dawkins. Is Richard Dawkins damaging atheism? I can't say that video wouldn't have been made at all, but at the time when I was ready to make that video, I couldn't have justified just going, fuck it, I'm leaving what I'm doing, I'm going to make the video. I certainly couldn't have justified it to my wife if it wasn't for the fact that I'm getting something tangible back. So a huge thank you with respect to that. If anybody else is thinking of pledging, it is on a per video basis. It will never be more than 5 videos per month, even if I make more than 5 videos per month. More usually I'm looking at 4 pledge videos in a month. Of course, you can set a maximum, a pledge limit below what 5 times your per video donation would be anyway. So if anybody's thinking of doing that, what I have done, because I'm a lying bastard, I said that I wouldn't do anything over and above what I do already, which I just said I'm going to get a green screen for a few different things. So that's a lie with respect to that, but it's also a lie because I've done 4 Patreon only videos, and I aim to do more of those, largely because I'm a selfish cunt and I enjoy doing them. It brought me back to the time when I started on YouTube, you know, when my channel was small and when you didn't have to think quite so much about what you were saying or think, is this a suitable thing, or is this a bit sort of not worth, you know, not quite what I want to put on a channel, or do I need to think about this? the more people that watch the video, the more you have to think about things, because the more critical eyes there are. And it's nice sometimes just to be able to just relax about it and think, do you know what, I'm just going to switch the webcam on. These are the 3 things that I want to mention, and I can just talk about them without having to think of the ramification of every sentence that's going to be involved. And then I always ad-lib my videos, often from a page of a few headers to keep me on track. So when you put those 2 things, couple those 2 things together, it involves quite a lot of thought processing and a lot of wariness, because you need to get it right. That isn't quite so necessary with a Patreon only video, so I kind of really enjoy doing that, and that's certainly something that I'm going to do more of. If the people that have pledged have enjoyed them, that is fantastic, and I suppose for some people that is a small bonus for making a pledge, is that you get access to them. I think that's pretty much all that I want to say in this video. We're at the point now where I say thank you for watching and bye for now, because I don't have the mental capacity to think up something new and original to say at the end of my videos. Perhaps somebody might have a suggestion as to how else I could end videos. But anyway, thank you for watching, and bye for now. Cliche over.